Hi, and welcome to ForensicsTournament.net online tournaments video tutorials. My name is Danny Cantrell. I'm the Director of Debate at Mount San Antonio College and the creator of ForensicsTournament.net. This quick video series is designed to show you how you can set up and run online tournaments using ForensicsTournament.net easily, straightforward, and hopefully very successfully. So go ahead and get started. We're going to begin with setting up your tournament. So what you need to do is to go to ForensicsTournament.net and create an account. And then once you verify your email, you can go under the Tournaments drop-down, go ahead and say Create New Tournament. You have to agree to the terms and conditions. Note that the website does charge you as the tournament creator $5 per school that registers at your tournament. There's no extra fees for the online features. ForensicsTournament.net uses 8x8 video conferencing, which very nicely is free to use. So we don't have to pass on any cost to you in order to have an online tournament and video conferencing. So that means if 20 schools register for your tournament, following your tournament, we will charge you $100. That should be payable within 100 days. You can pay by credit card online, very straightforward. So go ahead and agree to the terms, check the box, click Next. Then you'll enter some basic information about your tournament. So we're going to assume this is a tournament in the fall. We're going to call this the Online Test Tournament. Host will be Mount SAC. State will be California. We'll say it will start on the 22nd of August and go through the 23rd. And we'll say we're going to target colleges. Go ahead and click Next. Here you're going to set the URL that you can share with your schools. And the big thing is this has to be unique. And so we'll just call this Online Test. As you type it in, you'll get a little check here saying if the URL is okay. Or if another tournament has already used that URL, then you'll have to pick a new one. You'll note that the year is already added on. All you need to do is add in the tournament name. No spaces, no numbers, or anything like that. Just one word. Go ahead and click Next. Click Save Tournament, and your tournament's been created. It's easy as that to create a new tournament on ForensicsTournament.net. You'll see here the website address, ForensicsTournament.net, online test. That's the tournament name I just entered, 20. And what that allows you to do is if you host the same tournament next year on the site, you can use that URL again, and it'll just be /21, /22. And that way it makes it real easy to go back and see previous years. All right, so the tournament's been saved, and to go to the administrative side, as a tournament creator or a tournament admin that you've added later, you'll see a link for an admin. Go ahead and click on it. You'll be asked to log in again to the administrative server. And here we have our tournament setup. You'll see that it's guiding you to start by setting up the schedule blocks. These are when your rounds will happen, and then to set up the events. So go ahead and start creating the schedule blocks. Our first schedule block will be on Saturday, pattern A, round 1. Say it's at 9 a.m. And then we'll say pattern B, round 1, starts at 10:30 a.m. And then I can just quickly go through and add in round 2, say 1 o'clock. Pattern B, round 2, 2:30. And they'll go ahead and say finals of pattern A is at 4:30. And finals of pattern B is at 6 p.m. So you can quickly go through that, adding in all of your rounds. So then imagine on Sunday is our debate events. We'll put those in pattern C. We'll say round 1's at 10 a.m. Round 2 is at noon. Round 3 is at 2. And then round 4 is at 3:30. And then we'll just say we're going to do a bronze round at 5:30 p.m. and a gold round at 7 p.m. All right, so then I've entered all my schedule blocks. If you realize you made a mistake and you entered them slightly out of order, you can click over here on reordering schedule blocks and rearrange them. Just drag to where you want it. and then click update and it will rearrange them. And that's it. And then you can quickly view your schedule blocks that way, and you can add any ones that you still need to do here. All right, I think I've added all the schedule blocks I need for the tournament. So if I go back to the admin page, you'll see the next thing it's asking for are the events. So if I just click on here, you can also access both of these under the setup dropdown. You'll see that there's the schedule and events. So I'll go ahead and add the events next. So I'm going to add a pattern A event. So it's asking us to please save a division first. So if you click on division, we're going to have, say, open division and a novice division. And now this will make it very easy to add the events to the divisions. You'll notice the patterns have already been set to A, B, and C because we set those when we created the schedule blocks. And now when I go to pattern A, I can pick to save a new event. So I'll just enter one to make it a little quicker. So we go individual event, informative, some of the more popular events will have a drop down here. Persons is the number of students in each event. Usually that's one. Usually just duo and debate events, which are partner events, you'd pick 2. Readers Theater might be 3, depending on how many people can enter that event. But usually you can leave it at 1. You'll see here, because we already entered the divisions, you can click very quickly open and novice, and that will save informative, open informative, novice informative. You can set the fee for both of those events here. And if you wanted to, you could quickly set the event rules and have that appear on the ballots for your students. We'll go ahead and skip that. So I've saved a event, and you notice it says open informative saved and the event scheduling saved. And what that means is that because I said this was a pattern A event, informative has been scheduled for those pattern A schedule blocks, the round 1, round 2, and finals that we created earlier. So that's creating events. You could then add your events to pattern B, pattern C. If you needed to edit the scheduling, you could do so here. On Saturday the 22nd, you'll notice that open informative has been scheduled for the pattern A schedule blocks and not the pattern B. And then you'll notice it's not listed for any of pattern C blocks as well. Okay, so I'll go back to the events. Event prompts is a new feature that we added in the spring, where if you'd like the topics for events like impromptu listed on the e-ballots, you can set that the event has a prompt here and then set those here. We won't go into that right now. You can set the event rules here that can also show up on your ballots, any ballot messages here, but we won't go into that in this. All right, and so then if I go back to the main screen of the admin, see there's no more messages guiding us. We've set up the basic information. And so now we need to adapt our tournament to the online world. And so the way we structured online tournaments is that it's on top of the existing website. So it sort of assumes a face-to-face tournament, but we can quickly adapt the website to an online environment. If I go Setup, Tab Settings, you'll notice that there's sections for each of the different types of events. If you don't have British Parliamentary, Readers Theatre, Congress at your tournament, you can just ignore those. It won't be relevant to you. But if we start here under Tournament Settings, you'll see under the General area, the tournament type is Traditional. If you hover over here, it will give you a bit of an explanation. And the 3 choices right now are Traditional. That's a face-to-face tournament where you're going to print out postings, print out ballots, just like before the pandemic. E-ballots allows you to have sort of a face-to-face tournament, but where judges use electronic ballots. And then online is what we're going to do for this tutorial, where we're going to host the tournament online. All of the competition will be in video rooms. All of the judges will use e-ballots. Go ahead and click Update. You'll see their tournament type's been updated. For the ballots, we just want to confirm that we're going to use the e-ballots. Just in case if you're using some other system, you don't necessarily have to use e-ballots. The coach ballots email, again, you can hover over each of these. It gives you a quick description. The nice thing with this feature is the coaches will receive all the ballot information for their school's judges. And sometimes we found that can help quickly solve a problem if the coach already has the information for all their judges. The push ballots automatically, I'd recommend probably keeping off. This was a feature that was going to automatically push the ballots if they're not picked up within 5 minutes, but we found it's probably better to do it on our own. And then send judges all clear automatically is a nice feature where once all the e-ballots have been picked up, any standby judges will get an email or text saying, you're off, go enjoy your round, you're not going to have a ballot. We'll go ahead and click Update to recognize that we're using e-ballots. Now for the email, what this does is we'll say what is the default reply to email address. Now, normally that's no reply at forensicstournament.net, but one of the things I found is that many people still reply to the no reply at forensicstournament.net. And so what would be smarter is if you put your email address here, so that way if anybody replies to it, you'll get that email. Otherwise, if a judge or a student hits reply to any of the emails they're getting from the site, that's going to get sent to me, which isn't very helpful for you for your tournament. So you could do something like pcantrell3@mountsac.edu, although please don't enter that because then again, I'll get you all of your emails for your tournament. So enter your email, click update. For postings, we want to note that we're going to use e-postings. Again, you can send coaches a copy of all of the students' e-postings, which we found, again, saved a ton of time because if a student's not getting a posting or is confused, the coach has the information and they can give it to them. And then public postings is controlling whether or not when you send out the e-postings, do the postings become public automatically on the website. Normally we keep this off because the students don't need to go to the public postings anymore because they're getting them emailed directly. So go ahead and click update on that. And then for video, again, this is assuming we're going to use live video rooms. So you go ahead and click on. And then one of the best practices that we came up with in the spring was to have a help room. And if you set what that help room will be here, then all of the emails that get sent out to judges and students will have a link to the help room in them. And so if the student's having trouble and they don't quite remember how to get help, it will be there in their email. And so the nice thing about 8x8 is that anything you enter after this URL creates a room name. You don't have to set it up ahead of time. There's no cost. There's no account required. And so what we'd recommend is to use your tournament name and then add the word help. And so since we're calling this tournament the online test, I can create the help room as online test help. Whatever makes sense for your tournament, you can do there. Go ahead and click update. We'll come back to this YouTube Awards video key at a later video. But that's all you need to do is set up your tournament. Everything's ready to go to be online at this point. We've set our tournament type to online. We've set that we're using e-ballots. We've set that we're using e-postings. So all of the judges will get their ballots by email or text. All the students will get their postings by email or text. And we've set that we're using live video rooms and that our help room has been set. So that's the only setup that's going to be different from a face-to-face tournament that you need to do on forensicstournament.net. And in the next video, we'll show you what coaches need to do in order to have their students and judges able to get all of their postings and ballots. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to send me a message. There's a support link available on the website. That's really the best way to get in touch with us. But otherwise, we really hope that forensicstournament.net is able to help you run your online tournament efficiently, effectively, and hopefully we can still have some great forensics tournaments, even though we're all online. Thanks.